Wednesday, Arsenal against Spurs, both matches being played at Wembley. It's a fitting year for the two Sheffield clubs to have got so far, because this is the centenary year of the city of Sheffield. This report now from Ray Stubbs.
Saturday, April the 3rd, the biggest day in the history of Sheffield football. The two protagonists meet at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final. Sheffield United against Sheffield Wednesday on BBC Radio Sheffield.
Wembley news every day, throughout the day on Radio Sheffield. The latest on those tickets. We're now down to the last few hundred tickets, both at Bramall Lane and at Hillsborough. They're on general sale. You don't have to be a season ticket holder. Any old Joe can have one, but it's the last few hundred at Bramall Lane and at Hillsborough. So I'd be quick if I were you. If you want to go to Wembley with Wednesday and United this Saturday, last few tickets are on sale now. We'll keep you in touch on Radio Sheffield. Radio Sheffield.
A combined ticket allocation of around 70,000 didn't last long at Bramall Lane or Hillsborough. It may only be the semi-final, but in Sheffield, many reckon it's the final itself.
Look at it! Adelaide! Yes!
John Pemberton and some of his colleagues can't look. If he scores, Sheffield United are in the semi-finals. And he scores!
End of part one came when United triumphed over Blackburn in a tense penalty shootout. Then the city had to hold its breath for 24 hours to see if Wednesday could beat Derby in a quarter-final replay.
Forward by Waddle twice in that attack. Warhurst closing it here. Oh, good touch! Brilliant! Warhurst! He's there again!
Wednesday and United in the FA Cup semi-final, a great occasion for a city that demands an allegiance to blue or red. For sure there's a great history to football in the city. Sheffield United, the Blades, have been cutting a dash since 1889. Sheffield Wednesday first started kicking a ball around seriously in 1867. But neither Wednesday or United can compete with another club in the city, Sheffield Football Club. Word has it their players used to train here on this bit of waste ground not a long throw from Bramall Lane. And that was in 1857. The city of Sheffield can claim to be the birthplace of organised football. The oldest football club in the world remain. In their red strip, Sheffield Football Club play in the Northern Counties East Football League. Ticket arrangements for last Saturday's home game against Harrogate Railwaymen at Don Valley Stadium weren't as complicated as they were for the semi-final. But the players are proud and determined that the club survives its present financial crisis. Although all those years ago, being the first ever football club wasn't easy, as Sheffield's acknowledged football historian discovered.
They must have had problems because being the very first club, who could they go out and play?
No one to play against?
No. So what they did, they got all the members together, and the ones from whose names began from A to L went on one side, and M to Z went on the other side, so you could either play for the A to L's or the M to Z's.
When Wednesday and United got themselves going, the history of the Sheffield Derby commenced. And at the turn of the century, the two teams met in the FA Cup for the first time.
In 1900, the fixture went to three matches. The first match was abandoned after 50 minutes through a snowstorm. The second game, also at Bramall Lane, ended 1-1 in a very heated battle. And the third game took place at what is now Hillsborough, what was then called Overton. And Sheffield United won 2-0. But Wednesday finished with 8 men, United finished with 9. Wednesday had 2 men sent off and 1 carried off with a broken leg. And the 2 United men who went off were the men who had been kicked by the chaps who were sent off.
In terms of honours, both Sheffield clubs peaked early. United can look back at a League Championship win and 4 FA Cup successes. Wednesday can boast 4 championships, 3 FA Cup wins. The most recent was in 1935. The following year, United were at Wembley. They lost, and that 1936 final is their most recent appearance there. Wednesday contested the 1966 final. They led 2-0 at one stage, but still lost out to Everton. United had an impressive side in the 70s, but fell into decline, kissed the First Division goodbye and fell to the 4th. Wednesday fell as low as the 3rd division, but their climb back to the top came in the mid-80s. And it's Wednesday who've certainly turned the corner of late. Their League Cup win in 1991 was Sheffield's first trophy success for 36 years. They have this year's Coca-Cola Cup final to look forward to and have an impressive squad and are going well in the Premier League. But wise, experienced Owls know that a local derby of this magnitude overrides everything.
You know, you get everybody coming round and got to win. And
which you expect from a semi-final anyway.
You've got to win.
It's part and parcel of it anyway.
It is.
Whoever you were playing, but it's just a little bit more because of Sheffield United.
I think with us, it's important that we relax
and play.
Because if we get caught up in the long ball game,
they're better at it than we are.
Yeah, it'll favour them. And the important thing is we've got to obviously try and match them physically. And then when we do get the ball, we've got to make use of it, and we've got players who can do that.
And Chris Waddle has more than demonstrated that himself this season. On his return to English football from Marseille, he's been central to Wednesday's success. Warhurst, Hurst and Bright have been regular goal scorers, but when...
You know, any crowd in the country likes to see somebody pick the ball up and take people on. And I've had often a good relationship with the lads. They give me the ball a lot of times in the games, which, you know, you've got to earn respect when you come to a club. You've got to show that when you do get the ball, you don't waste it, and, you know, you're not just playing around with it. I came to make goals rather than score goals. That's my excuse anyway. I'm quite happy the way it's gone.
Sheffield United's return to the top flight has been achieved.